Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. We've got two big transfer stories for you today. We're going to be talking about Chelsea, we're going to be talking about Arsenal and a couple of other stories as well. But let's start off with Chelsea and Lewandowski. And straight away I think the Chelsea fans are going to go, hold up there Goldbridge, we don't want Lewandowski, we want Haaland. And I don't know why I'm speaking like this, because not all Chelsea fans speak like this, because they're a global football club, they're massive in America. They could be going, hey there Goldbridge, we don't want no Haaland, we want Lewandowski, man. That I don't know whether that sounded like it was Yorkshire or America, but Chelsea are going to buy a striker, and Tammy Abraham's going to go. Giroud's already gone. That leaves them with Timo Werner. Timo Werner, I read something today that Timo Werner wants to leave. I don't believe that. I mean, London's a fantastic place to live. Germany's not far away. He's got Havertz, Rudiger in that team with him. He's got a German manager. I don't think Timo Werner's going to go, but Chelsea do need to buy a striker, because even if Giroud and Abraham were there, they're not the answer. They need a top quality goal scorer. So they will get somebody. And with Chelsea, look, Abramovich in charge. They buy big. They'll go big. They won the Champions League. They want to win the league. They know Man City are a hard team to topple. And they know that Man City are probably going to buy somebody as well. So Chelsea will go big. There is a big signing coming in for Chelsea. Who is it going to be? They want Haaland, but Haaland is going to cost you 200 million. The fee, the agent fees, the wages, 200 million package. Now, they might do that because Dortmund will only get 70 million in a year with his release clause. Now they could double their money. So, there might be a deal that Chelsea can do with Haaland. Dortmund are a pain in the backside to deal with. As a United fan, I realise that. But Chelsea are the kings of the transfer market. So, even they might make Dortmund look like amateurs. So it could happen. They could get Haaland. But Lewandowski's an interesting one because he'd be a lot cheaper. Lewandowski's actually 33 next month, which might put some people off, but look at what United have done over the years with people like Cavani and Zlatan. 33 for Lewandowski, and you want a goal scorer who can score with his head, his feet, and play as an out-and-out number 9. I think Lewandowski to Chelsea would be very interesting. But what would also be interesting is Chelsea have done this before with people like Torres and Shevchenko, where they've spent a lot of money on very good world-class strikers who come to Chelsea and don't deliver. And Lewandowski at 33, has he got the pace on the break that Chelsea would like to utilise? Probably not. Could the Premier League be a bit fast-paced for him? Maybe. So it's a risk for Chelsea to go for Lewandowski. And it's a risk for Lewandowski. And he's got 2 years left on his deal. I mean, realistically, I think Chelsea wouldn't get any change out of 50 million. And even then, Bayern Munich might say no. But I would like to see Lewandowski play in the Premier League, because we've not seen Lewandowski play in the Premier League. I think there's an element of risk. I don't know what Chelsea fans would feel about it, but I'd certainly put him as a consideration. I personally think the best signing for Chelsea is Harry Kane. I think it'd be perfect for Chelsea, but I just don't see how you do that deal. Daniel Levy is hard to deal with at the best of times. He's going to be even harder when it's selling to another London club. So I don't see that happening. And as I said, Erling Haaland's very expensive. I mean, in another way, I just wonder about Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know why that's not been mentioned. As Ronaldo said, he won't play for any other English club other than United, because Ronaldo does want to leave Juventus, and Juventus do want to sell him. It's just the expense of the deal. And I think that's, again, Ronaldo in a Chelsea shirt would destroy me as a United fan. But if United don't want to go for him and he wants to come to the Premier League and Chelsea went for him, then that's up to Ronaldo and Chelsea. But I've never heard anything linking that. I'm just trying to think outside the box of options that Chelsea will go for. And I think, Lewandowski, Haaland, Harry Kane, I reckon Chelsea will end up with one of those three, because anybody else is a little bit more of a risk. If you go for an Isaac or someone like that, they're not as high profile, and they could end up being another Timo Werner. I think Timo Werner came in with good credentials. So we'll see what happens with it. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to end up, but Chelsea will buy a striker. Get your comments in below what your thoughts are. Would you like Lewandowski? Are there any other options? Do you think they're just going to go in and chuck a shitload of money at Dortmund? We'll see. They could throw the same amount at Harry Kane, by the way. I think Harry Kane would cost 150 million, but he'd probably be slightly cheaper than Dortmund are wanting. So, maybe money talks. We'll have to see. Dortmund and Spurs, difficult clubs to deal with, but money talks, and Chelsea have got it. So let's see what happens with that. The second story, and get your comments in on Chelsea below. The second story is James Maddison to Arsenal. This is building a bit of momentum. You got to be really careful with this sort of thing, because there's a lot of good, intelligent Arsenal fans, but there's like with any fan base, there's some stupid ones. And I've seen a lot of Arsenal stories this summer transfer window. They've been linked with Calvert-Lewin, James Maddison, and I just don't think any of these deals are actually achievable. I said it yesterday. I think Villa and Everton have got more cash to spend and spend it better than Arsenal and other big clubs at the moment. The trouble I'll give Arsenal fans a little tip here. If you get James Maddison, I think it'd be a good signing, but I think you can get a lot better for a lot less. And what I mean by that is Leicester they don't need money, Leicester. They don't need to sell. It might be in their model to sell, but they don't need to sell. And if you look at what happened with Harry Maguire, 80 million quid. You look at what happened with Ben Chilwell, 50 million. All right, Leicester have shown over the last 2 years that they do sell players and they buy players at a good price. Maybe they are looking to sell somebody this summer, and maybe it's James Maddison. Harry Maguire 2 years ago, Ben Chilwell the year before. That's £130 million they made. But I tell you what, if you want James Maddison, you're going to knock Leicester's revenue up to 200 million over the last 2 years. 80 for Harry, 30 for Ben Chilwell. That's 130 million. Sorry, 50 for Ben Chilwell. That's 130 million. They'll want at least 70 million for James Maddison. He's got, I think, 3 years left on his contract. They won't do you a discount. They don't do anybody a discount. They don't need the money. And if you want James Maddison, you're going to have to spend about 70 million quid, maybe a little bit more. Are Arsenal going to spend 70 million pounds on James Maddison? No, they're not. So this ain't going to happen. And if it does happen, Leicester will make sure they get a very, very good amount of money. You will overpay for James Maddison because it's Leicester and he's English. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. It worked out very well. Chelsea overpaid for Ben Chilwell. They'll probably say it worked out quite well. Are Arsenal going to overpay for James Maddison? Maybe they will, but it'll work out very well for Leicester if that happens. I don't see it happening. I don't think Arsenal can do that sort of deal. And I also think Arsenal's scouting network is that good that I don't think they need to spend £70 million on James Maddison. I think they could find a James Maddison equivalent from the French League or the Spanish League or something like that. I think Arsenal's scouting network is actually quite good. I think Edu's done a good job there. The problem Arsenal have is it doesn't replicate itself on the pitch. But I thought Gabriel was a good signing. I think Thomas Partey was a good signing. I think Pepe was a good signing, but he was very expensive. But I don't think Maddison will go to Arsenal. I really can't see that happening at all. But look, as I said before, the transfer window is ticking along. But I do sense that we're going to get some big deals, and we should be getting them in the next 2 or 3 weeks because the season starts in the middle of August. But what we might see is what we've seen in the past, is that teams do business after the season started. And I don't know why that happens, for whatever reason, that it does seem to happen, but I think that might happen again where prices start to drop at the back end of the window. And look, that's natural. That is natural. You've got any sale, you're going to get prices reduced at the end because people suddenly realise they're not going to get the price that they want. And maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe we're going to see a lot of things. But I hope my club, Manchester United, I'm sure many of you hope your club actually gets business done before the start of the window, because I think it's going to be one of those seasons whether United can challenge for a title, whether Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool can challenge for a title, or whether you're Spurs, Arsenal, Leicester trying to get top four. I think those first 3 games, those first 9 points, when you look at the end of the season, those 9 points could be really important. And if you've not bought your players in, and let's not forget, you could buy a player on the 31st of August. You've got 2 weeks then to bed them in, or because it's international break, whatever. But, there's 9 points up for grabs there. And I hate it when my club buys players once the season started because you don't have that stability. But maybe we're going to see that. Get your comments in below. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks everyone for watching. And remember, you're all welcome on That's Football.